That didn't take long, did it? The family is getting so small now. It doesn't take any time at all to do the dishes.
Oh, just as well, Mom. Leaves you more time for other things.
Such as?
Oh, I don't know. Reading or sewing. Well, just taking it easy for a change.
Taking it easy. If you mean just sitting around doing nothing. Well, that's one of the pastimes I enjoy least. Doing nothing wears me out more than working.
How do you know? You've never tried it.
And I can assure you I don't intend to start at this time of life.
Well, I'm not worried about your being at a loss for something to do. You always manage to get into something.
Mischief?
Well, that isn't quite what I was going to say, but it's not far from wrong.
You certainly have a high opinion of your mother, haven't you?
You can say that again. Seriously, though, Mom, you sure know how to budget your time. Seems to me very few people know how to use their leisure or their spare time properly. It's quite an art.
Well, I hardly think that spare time is going to present much of a problem for you, Randy. At least, not while you're getting this new business started.
Yeah. This real estate game isn't going to be any lead pipe cinch. I know that. I'm just trying to dope out how much of an investment it's going to take to get me started.
Randy, I want to talk to you about that. I can let you have some money if you need it.
Thanks, Mom, but well, I've been studying it all out, and I'm pretty sure I can swing it. Besides, I wouldn't have you take such a risk.
Risk? On the contrary, I call it being a very shrewd businesswoman.
Oh, you would you? Me thinks you're a gambler, woman.
Oh, it's no gamble. Because I have faith in your ability, dear. In the success of the Lane Realty Company.
The Lane Realty Company?
Sounds fine, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
So, if you need any money to get started, I'd be only too happy to...
Look, Mom, you've worked awfully hard all your life for that nest egg of yours. And while I appreciate it, I'm not going to let you jeopardize it. If anything, I want to be able to add to it so as to give you a little more security in your old age.
Yeah, now, that's fine talk. Old age, is it? Don't you worry about security for me, son. I've got the best kind of security right here in our home. Our family.
Yeah, but just the same, You know, someday I hope to have enough money so that you'll never have to do another lick of work. You'll be a lady of leisure, travel, and do anything you want.
Is this another gesture toward my old age?
Well, could be, madam, could be, but no fooling, Mom. Wouldn't you like to take a long trip, see the world?
Oh, I suppose so. A little trip here or there. But Wakefield's my home, son. This is where I belong. Here among my friends. I belong here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. In a way, I have the same feeling about Wakefield and the people here. I guess that's why I get such a kick out of the idea of starting a real estate office.
But about the office, Randy, have you figured it out yet? Is it going to cost very much to get started?
No, I don't think so, Mom. I think I can swing it out of the money I saved. Rent's not very high. And if Peggy doesn't want $1 million a week for her services, I can get by, I think.
Oh, I'm sure Peggy would be only too glad to donate her services until you're showing a profit. She told me so.
None of that stuff. She'll be paid exactly what she would be if she weren't my cousin. I don't believe in exploiting my employees, even when they're part of the family.
Well, you argue that out with Peggy.
I will. And then, so far as furnishings and such go, I talked to David the other day, and he says he has some old desks and stuff down in the basement at the bank. He even has a swivel chair he let me have. You know, that's always been an ambition of mine, to lean back in a swivel chair and put my feet on the desk like a real executive.
With a big cigar sticking out of your mouth, I suppose. For some reason, I always think cigars go with a person who's beginning to get thick around the waistline.
Oh, well, it looks as if it'll be quite a while before I fall into that category.
Well, fortunately, you take after your father. He was straight and slender, too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if there's anything I can do for you in town tomorrow, you might drop up a list.
Oh, thank you,
I
Randy.
thought I'd go to the bank and dig out this stuff David mentioned. May need a little mending and polishing. Well, Mom, if you don't mind, I think I'll go upstairs. I have a letter to write.
Oh?
Yeah, to Kit.
Oh. Well, of course, dear. Go right ahead. I was wondering, Randy, is there something we could send her just to let her know we're thinking of her? Suppose I made a cake.
Oh, say, that'd be swell, Mom, if the person hasn't a rule against it.
Do you think you could check and find out what you could...
Well, if that's Peggy, she's getting awfully formal. Hi, David. Hi, come on in.
How are you, Randy?
Well, Mom and I were just talking about you.
Well, good evening, Mary.
Well, hello, David. My, this is a pleasant surprise.
Sit down, David.
Thanks. Well, what have you two been discussing? Or am I being unduly inquisitive?
Not at all. Randy was just saying he planned to write a letter to Kit.
Oh, well, she'll appreciate that, Randy. I sent a note to her this morning with some books and magazines.
Have you heard anything from Kit yet?
No, not yet. But I had a long talk with Angus McKillop yesterday about petitioning for a parole.
Oh? Well, I didn't know you could petition so soon.
Does Angus think there's a possibility that Kit won't have to serve the whole sentence?
A very good possibility, Mary. He says she'll come up for parole automatically in a few months.
I didn't know that.
But it may be possible to hurry things up. I'm going to see Warden Hastings within the next few days about petitioning the board. Of course, it all depends on how Kit behaves.
I don't think you need to worry on that score.
Maybe not. But after all, Mary, if Kit should have a relapse of her mental illness, it might...
Don't worry, David. She won't.
How can you be so sure?
Well, I just am.
I hope you're right, Randy.
So she may be released in a couple of months, huh?
Well, it might not be quite that soon. But Angus doesn't foresee much difficulty. He says that if a prisoner has served a portion of his time and if his behavior and attitude has been good, then the state isn't particularly interested in keeping him.
David, have you any plans for Kit? I mean, for when she comes back?
Well, frankly, Mary, no, I haven't. The main thing I've had in mind was to bring about her release. Of course, I'll be responsible for her. But I don't know what Kit will want to do when she gets back.
Have you thought that she might not want to come back here? Back to Wakefield?
Well,
Oh, I don't know. She may. As a matter of fact, I rather think she will.
Did she say something to you about it, Randy?
Do you know how she feels about her future, son?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I think I know how she feels.
Randy was thinking that, actually, Kit's future depended chiefly on himself. He was thinking of the promise he'd given her. But no one knew about the pact he had with David's niece. No one, not even Randy's own mother.
Maybe I ought to tell Mom. And yet, how can I explain that I promised Kit I'd keep my life free until she leaves prison? I'm not sorry I did, because it seemed to make such a difference to Kit. It seemed to give her the courage to keep going. When she comes back, yeah, what happens then? Huh. Sure seems like Kit's part of my life now, and I'm part of hers. Kit Calvert and Randy Lane. Huh. That sure poses a lot of questions. I wonder what the answers are.
Yes, Randy, there are indeed many questions to be answered. Are you in love with Kit? If you are, how will your mother feel about it, in view of the hatred Kit's father has always shown the Lane family? How will your cousin Peggy feel? Yes, Randy, if you fall in love with Kit, many obstacles could threaten your happiness.